This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined with big Frazer Clarke. We're here in Coventry for GBM. We've just seen stablemate Kieran Molloy get a decent victory. Happy with what you saw right there?
Yeah, listen, it's like I said on comms, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Kieran's got to take his time. He's got to develop. These are the kind of fights he needs. He's disappointing and knockout. Listen, it's all part of the game. It's all part of the learning. I'm very proud of him. He's shown improvements, and he had a really tough one last time. This one was a little bit of a different opponent, but day by day, week by week, he's improving. I'm really happy for him.
Obviously, Kieran's a little bit lighter than yourself, but you both share similarities in having such a long amateur background. Do you feel like that benefits having a stablemate, I suppose, like yourself, where you've both had long, lengthy amateur experience?
Yeah, you know, we've got me and Kieran. We've been about with each other overseas. You know, we've seen each other over the years, growing up. He's with Team Ireland, now with Team GB. But listen, I knew him before he came to the stable, and I knew he was a good guy. So it's important to have these people around you. You know, the best thing about him is he's a driven individual.
And I suppose how important now is it for him to keep active, I suppose, and just keep the ball rolling when he wants to headline in Ireland by the end of the year?
Activity, you know, that's what all fighters are crying out for, all levels, you know. I'm very fortunate, you know, I've been quite active as a professional, and I'm with obviously the big promotion, Boxer and Sky Sports. Not all them guys are with me, you know. GBM are doing amazing, putting these shows on, putting people like Kieran. They're giving him that chance, you know, and he's taking them with both hands.
For sure, and I suppose one thing I did want to ask you, and I suppose when it comes to Kieran and with the experience that you have, and I suppose it's guiding fighters in the gym, anyone who's been previously on GB or anyone that's sort of an early prospect that you've come encounter with, they always say, you know, when it comes to Frazer, once a captain, always a captain. Do you feel like you sort of hold that responsibility in regard, would you say?
I don't feel like it's a responsibility, I just feel like it's in me. As you can see, every show, you know, if I've got like any of my old teammates or any of my stablemates are fighting, I'm throwing every shot with him. You know, it's just if it's either in you or it's not. I'm not the kind of person. I'm not afraid to shout. I'm not afraid to scream. I don't care what people think. If I think it's going to help him, not that it will, because I'm not throwing shots with him. You know, but I try and give him a bit of advice and guide him and support. It's nice to know, you know, you've got someone who's senior, who's been with you in the ups and the downs. They're screaming for you. I enjoy it. You know, I can remember my last fight with Wardley. I could hear out of all the noise, I could hear my ex-teammate Anthony Fowler screaming for me, and good advice as well. But you know, some of these people you have relationships with over the years, and you want them to win so bad. So, like say Fowler that time, or it could be Cordino, whoever, you know, Galal. These people, you know, when you've been around the world with them, it really, like, you have a good bond, so, you know, it's nice to have the support from them.
I do have to ask you about Paris this year. Obviously, the three male GB fighters going, obviously, Lewis Richardson, Pat Brown and Delicious Ori. I suppose excited to see how they compete in 2024 in Paris.
Yeah, you know, I've seen them in the gym a few times, watched a few of them in competition. I remember they've had a short cycle, really short cycle, 3 years. They're all relatively novice-y in terms of Olympic boxing, you know, just comparing it to the squad that I was in. But, you know, they've done really well, you know, they should be so proud of themselves. The three males that are there and the women as well. It's going to be difficult, it's going to be tough, but what gives me confidence is they're in the right place, you know, GB boxing, Rob McCracken heading it, and then the coaches, you know, unbelievable coaches, they've been around it, it's not their first rodeo. They've been through the cycles, and if anyone's going to guide you through it, they're with the right people.
For sure, and when it comes to Team GB, there is a big fight that got announced in September 21st, and Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. You have both had your experience with either fighters on Team GB. I think you're probably the best person to ask about this fight because you've had experience with both fighters, and I suppose taking that into your mind, how are you looking at that fight between the pair?
Well, it's an interesting one because I have had experience with both fighters, but that's the fighters of old. You know, I feel like these are new people. Daniel's a new man, Joshua's a new man. So I'm not going to judge them off their past experiences because at the time Daniel was a puppy and Anthony was mature and turned pro and was doing good things. He was already Olympic champion, so I can't really judge them too much on what they've done before. I'm just going off what they're both in great form now. They're both with relatively new teams. Confidence is high for both of them, so I'm predicting a good fight. You know, I think Anthony's going to go in there as a clear favourite, judging on what he's done in the past. But you know, you can't sleep on Daniel because him and Don Charles seem to have something that's just working. You know, sometimes things just click, and at the minute that's really seeming to have done that. And he's really impressed me last time against Filigovic. You know, the way he came on strong and gritted it out. I wasn't sure he had it, but you know, he's proven everyone wrong, and he did. So it's going to be an interesting fight. You know, I still put Josh as the favourite personally, but I think Daniel, I think that's going to drive him on. You know, that's most people's opinion. That's going to drive him on, and I think he's going to really, you know, get stuck into camp, him and Don. And they're already recruiting people for sparring. You know, I've had the call already. You know, they want me in. They want a few different people in. So they're taking it very seriously, and you know, a really good British fight, and not the best domestic British heavyweight fight that's out there at the minute, but it's a good one. You know, it's second after mine, but it's all right. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's all right.
Did you ever watch Anthony and Daniel sparring? Did you ever see any of that?
Yeah, loads of times.
And I suppose, like, was it? You know, obviously there is rumours that happened, and sort of, I suppose, how much do you think that takes into account of the fight?
10 plus years ago. So wherever they put each other to sleep on the canvas, doesn't matter. That was a lot of punches ago, a lot of spars ago, a lot of experiences ago. They're two different men now. Do you know what I mean? So if anyone's banking on any of the experience they took before, I think it'd be a foolish thing to do. I think you've got to go on what you're doing right now.
Final couple from myself, and on that card, I think many people were expecting or hoping that Fabio Wardley and yourself would have that rematch on that card. Was that ever a close proposition that fight could have been on there?
It was really close, you know. It was something that we wanted to do. For whatever reason, it didn't quite materialise. But you know, the boxing's a strange world, and you never know what's going to happen. So, you know, people keep their eyes and ears peeled, and who knows? You know, I hope we get back in the ring with each other soon.
I was going to say that is definitely
the plans. I think it makes sense for both of us. You know, I think, like I said this many times, you know, it doesn't sit right with me going to bed at night having a draw on the record. I don't like it. You know what I mean? We want a clear winner, and listen, Fabio's a good guy. I'm all right, and you know, I think we both got it in us to do the fight again. The public seemed to enjoy it last time. I think we both would have improved from the fight, and we could make a real spectacle of it last time. So next time, so you know, hopefully, you know, everything aligns, and I'm sure, you know, the British public will get to see it again soon.
Absolutely, for sure. Frazer, as always, thank you for taking time to speak to me. Good touch, mate. Top man. Thank you.